podcast that has something, nothing, and everything in between.
These are unfiltered and unscripted conversations between
Sam,
Ryan,
Rach.
who just want to talk.
but I don't know what to talk about.
Exactly.
So can you guess how many books I've read this year?
How many?
I said guess.
5?
No.
Nah, Sam won't read that much. He's more interested into anime. I want to say 2.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Faster, child. Faster. Answer faster.
I'm going to go with 3.
Answer better. Answer better.
What about you?
I think, see, I know you, so I am gonna say that maybe at least more than 10.
Ding ding ding, we have a winner. I've read
Oh.
17 books so far.
What the fluff?
Just since 2025.
You
Oh.
mean in the last 3 months?
Yes.
Wait, now I need to ask. When you say books, do you mean books like 300 pages novels or do you mean 50-page pamphlets?
So, no, not
Oh,
the
wait.
pamphlets.
You consider
50 pages is a
as-
magazine. 50
No.
and 100 pages are magazine
say
pamphlets.
magazine, don't say pamphlets.
50 pages are pamphlets and magazines. A book needs to be at least 300 pages.
No.
Wait, is that what your classification of a book is?
Yeah,
A book needs to be over 300 pages.
at least 300 pages.
No.
So you're telling me that novels that are 200 to 50 pages to 99 pages are not books?
I would say, yeah. I mean, okay, I'll come down to 250, but I won't go below that.
No,
Wait,
there are
wait,
short
why?
novellas also.
Yeah.
Those are called novellas.
Yeah, but they aren't called books. Because when it's a book, you need an entire atmosphere.
Actually,
you need a
technically,
build-up.
everything is called a book.
Yeah.
Like even your education stuff, they are still books. So I don't think you mean books per se here. What you probably mean is novels.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha,
My bad.
gotcha.
I feel so satisfied in my soul right now.
But 17 books? Seriously? How?
So I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So
Those aren't counted as books.
I
Oh,
would count
come
them
on.
as books. So I think I know what she does. Do you like listen and read at the same time?
Yes.
So I have a thing where if someone is telling the line to me, I will not understand it, I will not process it till I read it myself. So I am more a reading kind of a person, and Sam's more audio reading.
and so I do better.
Sam is
with,
audio visual. She's
audio
AV.
visual.
I'm just pure visuals.
But Ryan, as far as I know, even you listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, but I would never count them as the books I've read. I'll say yes, the books
Why
are...
not?
I think that's just a technicality.
No, it's not. So, what I've observed is when you're reading something, you can always pause, go back to that line, and it's your brain. So, whenever you're creating a speech for a person, right? Whenever you're guessing how that person might sound, it's your brain who's creating it when you're reading it. So, when it comes to audiobooks, what I've got to say is when it's you're listening to, when you're reading the book, let's say, alright, when they explain how someone sounds, or most of the times they won't explain how somebody sounds. You create in your head
Yes.
what that person might sound like.
I get it. I mean, I have a very vivid imagination, and I like to imagine, when they write, the grass was just this tall, or the wind was blowing like this, and his hair went like this. I like to imagine the whole thing happening.
Exactly. Now, in the audiobooks, they're going to explain all of that, agreed.
It's like a monotone voice is just telling
Exactly,
it to you.
and
So you can't add the depth of flavor to it.
Exactly,
sometimes,
and
I
it's
feel.
not just that. Even if they do add, like for example, let's say in some of the fantasy books I've been reading, they've got dwarves, they've got elves, they've got dragons and stuff. So whenever the dragons or these mythical creatures speak, it's somebody who's already created a personification for them. It's their voice, right?
Yeah. So I read the Harry Potter books when I was like in 10th or 11th, I guess. So that was when I was 15, 16ish or so. So I already knew, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint as Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So I couldn't develop of how they would look, how they would sound, and I had to rely on what they sounded like in the movies because that's what I'm used to. So I get it where you come from, but I also kind of like sometimes when I'm reading and I just don't want to put too much effort into it. I feel like that's when I would probably shift to audio listening, but I don't know as much. I mean,
See,
how do you like audio listening?
Audio listening is great. Audio listening is fantastic. When you're going in your train, when you're traveling, audiobooks are the best. I'm really grateful to Audible. I'm like, that 1 credit per month मेरे को कम पड़ रहा है. I'm listening to a lot of free books now. But Audible or all these audiobook sets have been a blessing because they capture the books also and they don't shorten it down, or they don't reduce the effect, or that depth of the book that comes into movies. Like, when you convert a book into a movie, I've always felt that the movie is maybe 25% of what the book was.
Yeah,
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah, so even with audiobooks, I think I have a very different perspective from both of y'all. But I love audiobooks. One, because it's very difficult for me to read. One, because I have a short attention span. On top of that, words just, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm reading. But the processing is very much
So like little bit
tougher.
Tara Zameen Par.
Yeah.
Not.
a little
She's
bit.
not
It's like,
dyslexic.
yeah, I'm not. Okay, there is a chance, but I've never done like a test or anything to figure that out. But my brother and I have always spoken about how we really enjoy audiobooks because we grasp information better when either we are explained to it or it's said to us. But for me, I love audio and visual. So if I've listened to something, I need to write it down. So the Harry Potter books also, I read them in 2018. Did I?
I don't know.
2018, 2015, I think. And I have been obsessed with them since. The first time I read them, I read it. But every year after that, I read a Harry Potter book. I read the Harry Potter books every year. And every year I listen to the audiobook. And the pleasure of listening to Jim Dale, narrate the book is a whole different feeling in itself. And
I
everything
think
that
that's
you'll
like
talk
a whole
about.
cult thing for you
Yeah,
now.
I think the whole thing that everyone says that audiobooks is not really listening, and I would want to disagree and ask them why. Just because it's not the typical form of processing information. Like literally reading or getting any information or reading a book is all about processing the information and living in the same fantasy world as other people. So reading or listening to it doesn't make as much of a difference as long as you're enjoying the content that the author has created for you.
But then how is it any different from watching a movie based on the book?
Oh, please do not even compare that. I will fight to my death.
I think
on
everybody
this.
heard the octave rising
Yeah,
here.
like do not even compare. If I even get to the Harry Potter books or even the Good Girl's Guide to Murder book or any book that I have read, the adaptation of that in a movie is incredibly bad.
I kind of get it with Sam.
And also, audiobooks is literally the person reading from the book who are very well versed with their voice. Okay, a voice actor or a audiobook narrator is very different from a movie.
Okay, calm down. Sam's on Wayne is popping here, guys. I think we need to tone it down a bit. Dan, I'm just going to give you my input really quickly here.
Let Sam cool down a bit.
Let Sam have a Coca-Cola. Cool, please, cool.
It's very different from a movie. Okay, like you're literally reading the book. And so I read Onyx Storm recently, and the adaptation of Taryn's, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the name, but Taryn's voice is so deep and so growl that you enjoy. You're in that book just by the voice that they have created.
But again, isn't that the point of that an Audible or an audiobook is not exactly a book, because somebody else is personifying elements of that book.
The point is that you're enjoying the book.
But you're not getting the full experience
you're
as you
using the
would have
book,
as the
But
book.
I think
No,
what she's
it's
trying
not
to say
about-
is that only, right? That she's getting the whole experience in that
Yeah.
manner. It's how she's processing that.
Yeah.
Like I said, right? If you read out the line to me, I will, even if you're reading a normal line to me, I will not be able to understand it as much as me reading it myself.
Whereas the same thing with
But
me,
that's
I will,
how I enjoy it.
yeah. Whereas with me, if you read something to me, I will enjoy it a lot better. Like there are a lot of times where Rach will make me read these Reddit stories, and I was like, I cannot for the life of me read it. Please read it out to me, and she will read it out to me, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So I think just my way of consuming media is through audio.
So it's your way of consuming
But
media.
a lot
right?
of people do enjoy audiobooks.
I am not saying that people don't enjoy audiobooks. I myself
It is still
enjoy
a form of,
audiobooks.
it's not a technical reading, and I'm using reading in quotation marks, but it's still enjoying the book.
It is still enjoying the book, but you cannot say enjoying the book. Yes, I heard that. But it's not exactly the feeling of reading, right? It's not.
It is.
No, so that's what she's saying, right? She does the audio and the visual together, right? While she's
Even if I
listening
don't-
to someone
yeah.
read out the line, she's also reading it herself at the same time.
Yeah.
So she's kind of getting best of both worlds, I would
Yes.
say.
Okay. Let me just picture you this, all right? So, which is one of the books that you read before listening to the audiobook? Any book?
Harry Potter.
Okay, but you saw the movie first, right?
No.
No, that was me.
You-
I saw
okay.
the movie first.
So you read the book first, right? You had probably had a separate voice for Ron, Hermione.
So this is maybe just me, but when I read it, it's just monotone. There's no
Sam reads
depth.
this as Sam.
There's no
Dumbledore is
depth.
crying. Sam is like, Dumbledore is crying. Oh no,
Yeah,
Harry.
and
Did
in
you put
fact-
your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Yeah,
That's how
in
Sam
fact-
read it.
In fact, the way J.K. Rowling has written the whole this of how the voice octave rises and all, I'll read it in that way in my head. But I find it a lot better when Jim Dale reads it. Like the way he adapts Dumbledore and he's in that character and he does. I become that character. I become that person who's
So
talking.
maybe Jim Dale is a good narrator.
I have listened to over 100 audiobooks at this point, and every audiobook I have listened to, I have thoroughly enjoyed all the people who have been reading it.
Well, agreed, but I'm not going to agree with this point that audiobooks and reading a book is equal. You enjoy
it's not
it,
about
great.
equal.
I mean, isn't that your opinion though?
Yeah,
it is.
But I also don't think at this point it's about being equal. It's about who enjoys what. So you're telling me people who are visually impaired listen to audiobooks, and that's any different from someone who is who can read a book. They are,
Yeah, I'm
enjoying
going to
it
say it
different.
is different from reading Braille versus listening to an audiobook.
It'll obviously be different. There are two different forms of.
Exactly. There's something where you are actually turning a page. You are going through it line by line. You can see the word.
But a lot of people also use Kindle. So having a physical book in hand versus reading a book on the phone or on the tab is very different.
Agreed.
So I would prefer having a book in my hand, but I'm obviously not that rich.
No, you just don't enjoy it.
Oh, I love reading, having this physical books in my hand. I think, which was a recent book, the Disappearance of Rachel Price. I had the book in my hand and I could not leave it. Like I was listening to it, but I was also reading it. And obviously, I don't constantly read because I kind of prefer just listening to it. But I'm also looking at the book and enjoying it. Sometimes I'll close the book, sometimes I'll open it. But being a person who loves reading through and through, and I will use the word reading or listening, whatever y'all want at this point, but I don't care.
I consider it as reading to be honest.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think reading is just a technical term, but yeah, I listen to audiobooks. I remember so many people telling me, "Oh, you're listening to audiobooks. It's not really reading." I was like, okay. First, I used to get really riled up, and even right now, I'm very riled up. But
Yes,
at the
we
same
know.
time,
Ryan is enjoying it.
Yeah, he enjoys people just getting riled up and arguing, and I don't argue.
He
on a
is
lot
literally
of
in his zone right now with twisting his beard and he's just waiting for that one line to throw back at Sam.
Yeah,
That's exactly
why
what
I
I'm looking at
choosing
right
my
now.
words carefully because
I'm-
he picks up one thing and he's like, "You said this, but."
Yeah, I if I could, I would be sitting here with popcorn just looking at Sam and Ryan go at it. I'm just like, I don't mind reading it with the paperback. I don't mind reading it on my phone. I don't mind listening to it. I love all forms of reading a book. I just thoroughly enjoy it every way.
So the reason I'm saying that a movie and a book is a completely different thing, or even audibles for this point, is for a simple reason that what you're listening to is somebody else's version of it, right? Let's take any movies for that matter of fact. Let's say the Harry Potter movies or the Aragon movies or the bloody Lord of the Rings
Lord of
movies.
the Rings, yeah. But Lord of the Rings is actually really good.
Actually, I would agree to this point. When it comes to the Hobbit, no, Lord of the Rings, I will still go for the books. But when it comes to the Hobbit, the three movies are way better.
I like the Hobbit movie. I love the book a lot more, obviously. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, I would say the movies are better.
I think,
Guys, I've not read or watched.
so we're not giving you spoilers. It's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Rach is not a part of this conversation.
I'm
So-
gonna go play Mob Control.
I will beat you.
So when it comes to movies, I think, what do you think about the Harry Potter? Like, what I realized in Harry Potter is that they almost cut out a lot of scenes from the
Oh,
book.
Dude,
yes.
no, wait.
Yeah,
I
oh,
need to
okay.
bring this point
Calm
up.
down.
Okay, so for people who don't know.
Everybody, please lower your volume. Sam's gonna go out on a rant.
At this point, I think anything I say about audiobooks or anything I say about Harry Potter in specific, Sam just goes
You
ballistic.
just mentioned the word pot, and she's like, wait, I got pointers.
So this has happened so often. Someone puts something and I hear Harry and I immediately turn. Like I get a whiplash.
I
how fast
want
I
her to
turn.
name her kid Harry. Someone calls Harry, and she's like, I'm ready. I'm ready
It'll
for
be
a
Harry in
rant.
India.
I will. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Harry Putter.
I will beat you all up. Okay, moving on. So, in the movie, it's not just inconsistencies. It's they have. Oh my god, the fourth.
We lost Sam.
Guys, Sam has run out of words here.
The last scene. Okay, so if someone has not read Harry Potter and is going to read it, just skip ahead. Maybe not listen to this one because I'm not sure because I will be giving out a lot of spoilers over here. But so about Grindelwald, right? Grindelwald and Dumbledore had the huge fight. Okay, after that fight, they never spoke. But Grindelwald regretted his actions. Okay, later on. In fact, even later on in the series, when Voldemort went to ask him for the wand, the Elder Wand, Grindelwald never gave away where the wand was. He knew where it was, but he never gave it away. But in the movies, Grindelwald says it lies with the something something. I don't even remember because I've just blocked out that memory. But Grindelwald gave away where the wand was, and Dumbledore went to, and then Voldemort went to Dumbledore's grave and removed the wand. Grindelwald would have never done that because he loved, he loved Dumbledore. Okay, he would have never disrespected their relationship, and that was completely different. Moving on from that, even in the 4th movie, the director wanted to burn down the whole Forbidden Forest. He wanted to burn down one of the main plot lines that is there in the 7th book that literally...
But here's the thing, right? The movies were made while considering and with J.K. Rowling right
Yeah,
there.
that's the most stupid part. But the worst part is, the first 2 movies are decent.
She just ignored me.
The first 2 movies are good. I don't want to talk about J.K. Rowling as much because
she's got Harry Potter. This section is mine, bitch.
I think, Ryan, we should just, go.
Yeah, let's have a rant about this.
I will talk and there'll be no end to this. But yeah.
We'll be never uploading this one.
And literally, I cannot even imagine this. The director wanted to burn down the whole Forbidden Forest where the whole storyline revolves around that. Like, the main reason Harry went back to the Forbidden Forest in the last book is so that he could die. Okay? And that whole scene is about being in the Forbidden Forest and the centaurs coming and everybody knowing, and Hagrid was hidden. How can you hide a 6-foot giant in like maybe a few trees? You cannot. You have to be in the Forbidden Forest. How would the beasts come out? How would the spiders come out?
Calm down.
Hours
Later.
Yeah, literally. I think we could just insert SpongeBob right
You
here.
are not going to contribute to this. What is the point
We
of
are
me
not
discussing?
contributing anyway. I literally gave you a
Harry
point.
Potter and you were
Yeah, I just literally gave you a point that the movies were made with J.K. Rowling right there. She should have told them not to.
You know what is the worst part? The cursed child.
ignored me
No,
again.
I am. No, I'm not. The cursed child. The cursed child. There were 2 other directors who did it. The play was directed with 2 other directors.
First of all, I don't consider Cursed Child as a
It
part
is
of
not.
the Harry
It
Potter
is not.
series.
I do
not
not
canon.
consider it canon at all.
Yeah.
But J.K. Rowling was even there that time, but she did not. Her persona of Harry, the person she created in that little, cafe. Okay, the boy she knew would go on to do great things, and it would probably become a famous book. She has changed the whole character,
But
and for
I
an
mean-
author to do that is I don't know what to say about that.
Isn't she allowed to? It's her character.
It is, but
And the character needs to grow and evolve,
it's
right?
not
Yeah.
about growing and evolving. Imagine
What
your
if she was
person.
writing about Harry in an alternate universe?
It was not an alternate universe.
This is taking the conversation in a different way.
Sam has explored all avenues as
Yes.
to why J.K. Rowling could have done this to
It
her.
is not an alternate. It is literally
J.K. Rowling
she
has
changed.
personally, stabbed Sam in the back right now.
Because imagine a guy who's grown up without parents. Okay, a guy who's grown up without parents and all. He literally wants that kind of affection. Okay, and him turning out to be a father who tells his kid, I regret the day you were born, or I regret that you're my son, is not a character I am willing to accept, especially not this Harry, who was ready to protect the whole of Hogwarts. Okay, and dying for them and putting that shield
Yeah, but he
on
probably
them.
regrets that whole part because so many people died for him.
Yeah.
He probably regrets that whole episode.
That doesn't change the
Wait,
fact that
one
he's a
second.
father.
No, so here's the thing you're not realizing, I guess, is that between the 7th book and Cursed Child, okay, maybe there was just few years of gap for you, but Harry has literally gone from being a teenager to
Exactly.
a father of some kids, Who knows what happened to him during that time?
Yeah, that's true. But you cannot. Your whole personality is not.
But
you
here's
see
the
Harry's.
thing, right?
Have you read Cursed Child?
No.
Half
Exactly.
of it. No,
Exactly.
I read half because I could not go through with the book because I was like, this is...
Exactly. I have
this
gone
doesn't-
through with the
I
whole
didn't-
book and said then they.
She doesn't let me complete.
You know how I feel.
No, wait. Let me get my point across at least before I forget. So what you're telling me is that you don't know a person, any person, okay, that is nice, that's good, and has also said very rancid kind of things like this.
I know.
Exactly. So why is it not possible for Harry to do that?
Because that's not his character. I get that spur of the moment anger. Okay, but if you've grown up with the character, and I get it talking about the years in between and all, But the thing that he said, it's not something you would just say it out of the
Yeah,
blue.
but that's the thing, right? That's why it's called spur of the moment.
But there was literally no regret in him even later.
how do you know?
It was in the books.
What? So you're saying that there's a line in the book saying that Harry has no regret?
No, I'm talking about the cursed child, when even later on they never addressed that topic at all.
Yeah, maybe it got addressed off table, off script.
They are only talking about the book right now. I'm not talking about what happens behind the
But
books.
then you're.
See, that's what's going to happen when they make a movie out of this, right? They're going to show it somewhere very differently, and the mass media are going to be like,
Okay, this cursed child is just not something I want to talk about. It is so
It's
despicable.
very clear
They
that
even changed Cedric's character. Cedric, who was Cedric, who was a nice
wait, the
guy.
Cedric who died.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cedric, who was a nice guy, who was like, the Hufflepuff. First of all, there were no Hufflepuffs as Death Eaters, and I don't think there were. And they
All
literally
Death Eaters were Slytherins, no?
no,
No,
there
not
are
all
others
Death
also.
Eaters. They were-
Ravenclaw also, yeah.
Ravenclaw also
Oh.
there, but Hufflepuffs were very less to like none. That's what I remember. But this is the thing, and Cedric, because he did not win the tournament, and he didn't die. So he turned into a Death Eater, and he killed Harry, and something else bullshit
Okay,
like
Sam
that.
just sounds very condescending
he killed,
right now.
he killed Neville, and because of that, Neville couldn't kill Nagini, and then Nagini couldn't die, so Voldemort didn't die, and the whole world is destroyed.
Again, alternate universe.
I do not care about your alternate universe. It was just utter bullshit.
Alternate universe.
You just
This
don't
is
want to
the time
accept
when
that.
they are talking about the alternate universe,
She
but
doesn't-
that is utter bullshit. Like they changed the whole
That's the whole
personality of that
point
character.
of an alternate universe.
You're
Literally.
like, no, this is one universe where Harry was
yeah.
good.
Dude, Sam is
It's
just
not
like,
about
no.
Harry being good. Harry has had his moments of anger and even said things, but not something like that to his kid.
First of all, you are not living in Hogwarts world.
Mentally, yes.
Let's just come back from there. I feel like it's personally reasonable for not reasonable. I wouldn't consider it reasonable, but I think it's completely possible for Harry to say something like that.
I'm just not going to listen to you anymore.
So she's just ignoring me again. I have been
But
ignored.
yeah, I think-
Ryan has not even attempted to give a pointer, and
I don't think I can open my mouth here because if I do, Sam will take a chappal and throw it at me.
she literally. I was about to. I literally raised my hand here to make a point. She caught my hand and she put it down. She was like, "No, this is my." I mean, like, guys.
This is my podcast today. My special.
This is Sam's rant. We're just gonna call it Sam's rant. But no, if you talk specifically about Harry Potter, about the books and the movie adaptation, there's a lot of things that they left out. I think one of the things about the fourth book was also about who gives Harry that. I think Neville gives him that leaf. You know,
They've cut out Dobby's parts.
Yeah.
a lot.
yeah. I mean, they've cut out some nice
But it
pivotal
was Guildweed or something.
Gillyweed, yeah. And when I seen that, no, I was just like, no.
So they've cut out a lot
now-
of creature, a lot of Dobby. I get why, but at the same time, the
It
characters
reduces
are
the
very
feel,
important.
right?
Yeah, yeah, and plus if you're reading it, and what if this is something that someone likes?
Master
this
get
small-
Dobby a sock.
Yeah. if someone likes this particular thing that happens in the book, and you're waiting to see
Yeah.
it enacted on screen, but then they just completely change it, they switch it up.
You know how bad it ruined Dobby for me from when I read the book. I actually didn't think of Dobby as that quiet squeaky voice.
Yeah.
Her on-screen voice for Dobby ruined it for me.
What
Yeah?
rubbish! I
Yeah.
loved that voice.
I love the
How
on-screen
was
dubbing.
your
My
adaptation?
Dobby voice was more of like I said, right? I read a lot of medieval books, lot of myths and fantasies. So always thought of Dobby as a regular slave guy. So always human, not exactly.
What they
Yes,
pitch it.
not exactly how they said his voice. I always thought he'd be tiny, not tiny as tiny just showed it to him. But let's say if Harry is 6, then he would be somewhere around 4 feet.
Oh, okay, makes sense. I mean, so in continuation to these adaptation bits, right?
Even
so,
it ends with us. I've not seen the movies. I don't want to comment on it.
So I have this thing now where I will, if something has been converted from a book to a movie, I will wait. I'll see what the reviews, everything is, and
Yeah.
if people are actually nicely raving about it in a good manner, I'll be like, I'll go and watch it.
One book is Verity.
Oh yeah, I kind of am waiting for Verity.
Mainly because it's Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway and I think Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway
Oh yeah,
and Dakota Johnson.
I kind
love
of
those
like
actresses.
I love the pairing. But what I was coming to is so Holly Jackson's a good girl guide to murder. Okay, the book is so beautiful. Like it's a trilogy, and honestly, the way she has written the characters, the way she has depicted it, the way she
The details of
explains,
the-
yeah,
yeah.
she explains the trauma, she explains so many things, no, so beautifully. They have done a Netflix series on it, okay, and I think Sam has already seen the series,
It's
and
shit.
and yeah, Sam said that the series was not that great, so I was like,
Sam,
I watched-
is any series that's not
No,
Harry
no,
Potter great?
No, it's not about no. So it's not about the I'm not okay. Here's the thing: a lot of people think people who read books have that high our standards are here, which is very true. But at the same time, we lower it a little bit because we know what the movies cannot bring in
yeah,
everything.
you can't bring
But
in
it's the
every
depth,
little detail.
It's the depth that you need, because there are so many books that have beautiful movie adaptations that stray away from the book sometimes, and I'm still okay with that. But I think the way you bring out the characters, right? This is the director and the producer's main task, that you need to show those emotions without having to say it out.
But is it possible? Okay, so one of the problems I've always had, I mean, it's not like I'm complaining that the writers did a bad job, no. But out of, let's say, the 100 or more books that I've read, 90 of those books have had really high highs, like beautiful high moments, and the ending is always like,
Blah.
really?
Yeah, anticlimactic
Really?
vibes,
And that's why I feel movies, whenever they do the movie, they always, maybe they tone down the highs a little bit so the ending feels satisfying.
I think they do that a lot because ultimately, when there's a difference between a director and an author, right? And when a director knows, like, if they are very clear about where they want or how they want it to end, they will accordingly, adjust the highs, adjust the lows, give you that complete impactful little.
Maybe it's because the
rewatch.
director knows that this is going to end
Yes.
here, whereas the writer is like, he's just letting the story flow.
Yes, I think so. I think it's their form of creativity at its best. Like, the writer, the author knows exactly, right, how this is gonna end. Because see,
No, but
not
the
always-
author does not, right? The director does.
No.
The author is just letting it flow.
No. So what I'm saying is the author knows. So if you're talking about Harry Potter, right? There's this one
I think we're
really.
only talking about Harry Potter in this.
So I think there's this one really cute. I wouldn't say cute, but I don't know what the word is for
Go
it.
on.
Okay, so that J.K. Rowling, the only person who knew the complete story of Snape, other than J.K. Rowling herself, was Alec Rickman.
Alec.
I said Alec. Wow, Alan Rickman. And the reason why she gave him that the whole
Spoiler.
ending, the spoiler, the story, is so that he can act accordingly throughout the movie. So
Yeah.
if you see throughout the movies, right? No, wait, Sam, my turn. So if you see during the movies 1, movies 2, in fact all the way up till movie 4, you're like, you know what, Snape is a bad guy, Snape's a bad guy, Snape's a bad guy.
It still is.
But I will beat you. But if you watch the complete 7 books, you see Snape's story, you see everything, how it plays out in the end, and then when you see his acting, right, and then
Yeah.
you switch back to the first movie, you're like, frick, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's
mind blowing.
it's mind blowing the way he does the acting, the way he depicts the character so beautifully. I mean, I love Alan Rickman. I literally love Alec Rickman so much. Alan Rickman is a tongue twister for me, guys. I love him so much, and
Brilliant actor.
The thing that he says in the movie, and this line, I absolutely love it with all of my core, is that when Dumbledore asks him after all this time, and he says always, it is just mind blowing for me. I don't know why. And the way that's what I'm saying, right? Because she gave him that note of how his story is, he was able to adjust and act accordingly. So that's what I say when I say that an author knows the ending, right? She knows the ending of each character to a certain extent. Okay, a director will not know that when he's directing just this one movie, right? So they have to work in tandem to get the best experience out there for the viewer. I feel that's how they should do it, and not like effectively let down on one aspect or the other. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I just want to add to your point that in fact Alan Rickman, since he knew what Snape's end was or his character was, there were a lot of moments where the director was telling, no, act in this way, act in that way, and he was like, no, this is what the character would do, this is what the character needs. And in the end they all understood why I hate Snape, but I hated him even more because of
But-
Alan Rickman's acting.
Dude, the way he acted out Snape, no.
Also, this is one fun fact. Alan Rickman actually passed away the way he wanted to, saying that, you know, he would sit on his chair and he would be reading the Harry Potter books to his kids and grandkids and all, and that's exactly how it
Jeez,
happened.
that sounds traumatic for the grandkids.
Yeah, just imagine Snape just died there.
And they
Right
can
in
listen
front
to
of
the
them.
story and then like,
It was a beautiful...
Grandpa, did you fall asleep?
Okay.
No, come down, come back. No, so I mean, honestly, it's just amazing how his character is written. I honestly love
Same.
love the character of Snape. You said
No.
same. You said same. You agreed.
I love Harry
She
Potter.
agreed. She
Guys,
agreed. She
this
did.
is going to be a grudge
No,
match
no,
between the
she
two of
agreed.
these
She
people.
I do not. I despise
No,
Snape's
she
character.
agreed.
I know this has been a long
No.
Harry Potter podcast, but we'll come back to you guys with more movies, more books that we've read. We'll revive the anime series if you guys like it. Let us know in the comments. Give us a call. Give us your feedback. We are looking forward to hear from you.
Don't give us a call. Give us a text.
I'll drop my number.
Drop a comment down.
Bye.